So I'm sure that most of you guys in this class have all gone camping at least once or twice in your lifetime, but maybe only a few of you have actually gone camping outside of the United States, or even, for that matter, California. My name's Mark Duarte, and I just want to share with you a little bit about camping down south of the border in Baja, California, and how much fun it can be. I've been going down to Baja for about 15 years now, and I've been doing 1 to 2 camp trips every year just to get out of San Diego and have some fun. Hopefully after this speech I can convince you guys to maybe think about your next camping trip down in Mexico. The 3 reasons to take me to Baja California are the freedom you have out in the desert, as well as the beauty, and lastly is how inexpensive a trip can be relatively down there. So first of all, the freedom you have. There's no park rangers or state parks down there. You can pretty much go down any dirt road you want, find a spot that looks appealing to you, and post up a campsite. There's no regulations of where you have to be, or there's no state ranger going to tell you to put out a fire or to be quiet. You're really out in the middle of nowhere, and you can do relatively whatever you want as long as you're safe and have some respect for the land. Nobody's going to bother you, and you just have this freedom of being in the wilderness with no rules, which is, I feel, how camping should be, really. The second point is the beauty. Baja California just reminds me of Southern California 200 years ago. You know, before all the hotels and real estate were in. You know, it's just raw desert, and it's how California would look if it wasn't so populated. So the beauty is really what attracts me to go down there. Really cool desert, cool cliffs, rock formations. Waves get really good down there. As long as when the lights go out, you can look up at the stars and see like the whole Milky Way galaxy, which you can't really see in San Diego because there's too many lights and too many people around. So it's really just beautiful. And the third point is how relatively inexpensive a trip down south of the border can be. Depending on how the length of your trip or what you want to do, you can honestly spend under $200 to have just a fun weekend getaway. Your main expenses are going to just be, if you own your own camping gear, you're only going to have a few expenses, which are food, maybe some beers, and the gas money to get down there. You're not going to have to be paying any fees for permits or campsites, so it really cuts the cost down a lot. I always stop by the duty-free store on the way down, and it's kind of just a tax-free store that you get all your beer and, I don't know, tequila if you want, and just cuts the price down a whole lot just to have one good fun trip. So yeah, the 3 things that keep me coming back to Baja, Mexico are the freedom you have in the desert, nobody telling you what to do. You can just do your own thing. The second thing was the beauty. Really reminded me of California a couple hundred years ago, or even just like 100 years ago, just raw nature and really fun. And the third is how anyone can do it. It's a relatively cheap trip, you just gotta get out there and do it. So hopefully the next time that all of you guys are thinking about planning a camping trip, you'll think about Baja California as one of your first options.